Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello, I welcome you all to the fifth lecture of the second week of the NPTEL course Modernization and Creative Communication. Today we delve into an essential and fascinating topic, the dematerialization of communication. This concept invites us to explore the profound shift from physical, body-centric interactions to symbolic and mediated forms of connections that transcend the limitations of time, space, and presence. As envisioned by Charles Horton Cooley, communication is no longer bound by physical geography or the constraints of face-to-face interaction. It has become a powerful force that unites minds and societies through shared imagination and meaning. By the end of this lecture, we'll reflect on Cooley's visionary ideas, their relevance to modern media, and how they continue to shape the way we connect and communicate in an increasingly digital world. Let us begin this journey of understanding the transformative power of communication. Before we delve into the core concepts of today's lecture, let's spend a moment getting to know Charles Horton Cooley, whose groundbreaking ideas form the foundation of our discussion. Who was Cooley? Cooley was a pioneering figure in American sociology, a field that was still taking shape during his lifetime. He was deeply influenced by both his academic background and personal experiences. Cooley was born in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and spent most of his career as a professor at the University of Michigan. His father, Thomas Cooley, was a prominent legal theorist and the first chairman of the Interstate Commerce Communication, which shaped Charles' early interest in the relationship between individuals and larger systems like transportation and communication. Philosophically, Cooley was an idealist, meaning he believed that ideas, thoughts, and social interactions, rather than physical or material forces, are the foundation of society. His contribution to sociology were profound and diverse, but he is best known for three key ideas. The looking glass self. Cooley proposed that our self-concept develops through our interactions with others. We see ourselves through the mirror of others' perceptions and judgment. The second idea was that of primary groups. He emphasized the importance of close, intimate relationships like those within families or friend groups in shaping individuals and society. Third was dematerialization of communication. Cooley explored how communication transcends physical presence, an idea we'll unpack in today's lecture. One of Cooley's most influential works happens to be Social Organization, a study of larger mind, where he elaborated on these ideas, particularly the symbolic and psychic nature of communication. His innovative approach positioned communication as a force that transcends time, space, and even physical bodies. In this way, Cooley's work prefigures many of the challenges and opportunities we face in today's digitally connected world. Now that we have set the stage with a brief introduction to Cooley, let's explore his ideas in depth. What is dematerialization of communication? Today's lecture focuses on the dematerialization of communication, which refers to the shift from physical, body centered communication to symbolic exchanges. Cooley's idea that transportation is physical, communication is psychic captures this change, emphasizing the difference between moving objects and connecting minds. In the past, communication often required physical presence. However, with technologies like letters, telegraphs, and phones, we now exchange symbols, thoughts, and emotions across time and space. Examples include writing an email to a friend abroad or attending a virtual meeting with colleagues globally. What was his perspective on communication? Cooley's theory of communication involves two key dimensions: transfer and communion of psyches. Transfer refers to the physical mechanisms such as writing, speaking, or using technologies like telephones that allow messages to be carried over distances. This shift from face to face to long distance communication marked a significant change in human interaction. The second dimension, the communion of psyches, goes beyond the simple exchange of information to highlight the deeper symbolic connection created when individuals share mutual understanding. Cooley saw communication as a process of connecting minds through symbols, allowing for a shared reality. He also recognized how communication technology could eliminate geographical constraints as tools like the telegraph and telephone allowed people to communicate across vast distances, making the world more interconnected. Today, digital tools like the social media and video calls realize Cooley's vision, enabling global communication. However, his ideas remind us to consider not just the reach of communication, but its depth, whether we are truly achieving meaningful connection or just exchanging surface level information. Here we explore how media has revolutionized society, acting not just as a tool but as an engine of social evolution. Cooley's viewed innovations like the telegraph, telephone, printing press, and photography as transformative. These technologies reshaped how societies function and organize themselves. His ideas later aligned with Marshall McLuhan's famous phrase, "The medium is the message," emphasizing that the way we communicate often shapes society more profoundly than the content itself. Cooley broadened the definition of communication to include gestures in speech, written and printed text, advanced technologies like telegraphs and telephones, artistic and scientific expressions. Each mechanism enables symbolic exchange, overcoming barriers of time and space. Cooley had a broad and inclusive understanding of communication, defining it as any process that allows thoughts and feelings to pass between individuals. In this, we explore here we explore the mechanism he identified, which range from simple gestures to advanced technologies. Cooley's definitions encompass gestures in speech, the most immediate and natural forms of communication. Think of a smile, a nod, or the tone of someone's voice. These are fundamental ghosts of expression that convey meaning. Writing, printing, and mail. These methods marked early stages of overcoming physical constraints, enabling people to share ideas across time and space. Innovations like the telegraph and telephone further reduced barriers, allowing instantaneous communication over vast distances. Cooley also recognized the symbolic power of art and scientific expressions as forms of communication. For instance, a painting or a scientific discovery carries meaning and connects minds across generations. Each mechanism serves a common purpose to bypass the constraints of time, space, and physical presence. Consider how the printing press allowed for the mass distribution of knowledge, or how telegraphs made it possible to transmit messages instantly. These innovations symbolize humanity's ongoing effort to transcend physical limitations and foster deeper connections. In Cooley's framework, these mechanisms highlight the evolving ways in which communication has enabled society to organize itself more efficiently. They are not just tools, they are the engines driving social and cultural transformation. Now let us discuss the role of symbolism in communication. Cooley proposed that physical presence is not necessary for meaningful interactions. Instead, symbols act as ghosts of expressions. Think about a friend's tone of voice, a photograph of a loved one, or even a historical figure like Shakespeare. Their physical presence isn't required for the ideas and emotions to resonate with us. Cooley argued that communication extends to, fictional characters or imagined relationships, historical figures whose legacies live on symbolically, the dead whose influence persists through shared memories and cultural artifacts. In Cooley's framework, the ability to communicate with symbols transcends physical limitations, creating a profound and enduring connection. Cooley believed the society is built on the exchange of symbols, with communication being the foundation of social life. He argued that shared symbols, meanings, and values, not just physical interaction, bind social groups like families, communities, and nations. Activities such as reading or watching media are socially significant because they create shared realities across time and space. Cooley's concept of the communion of psyches emphasizes how communication allows people to project thoughts and emotions, fostering mutual understanding and collective identity. Media tools like the telegraph and telephone expand this connection, shaping society. In essence, Cooley's work underscores the importance of imagination and communication in forming social bonds, with perception of others defining social reality. This idea remains relevant as digital media reshapes how we connect today. Cooley's theory also paved the way for understanding mass communication and its role in sociability. He was among the first to explore how media could create symbolic relationships on a large scale, connecting people who may never meet. In traditional societies, sociability was limited to small face to face groups. However, mass communication technologies like the printing press, radio, and cinema expanded these connections. Cooley saw mass communication as fostering virtual sociability, where people form shared experiences and relationships through mediated interactions, like the collective experience of watching a movie or a TV show. Cooley's ideas are especially relevant in the digital age. Platforms like Twitter and Instagram allow people to connect globally, forming virtual communities based on shared content. While mass communication lacks physical presence, Cooley believed it could still enrich social life by broadening human connections. In conclusion, Cooley's insights into mass communication highlights the transformative role of media in shaping relationships and communities, a perspective that remains crucial in today's digital world. Cooley's envisioned communication as a transformative force that breaks the physical limits of geography, time, and even the body. He celebrated the potential of communication technologies to redefine human relationships and social organization. Cooley argued that communication transcends geography, making physical location less relevant. Technologies like the telegraph allowed people to interact regardless of distance, and today's digital platform enable real-time global interactions reflecting Cooley's vision. He also believed communication reshapes relationships, focusing on exchange of symbols rather than physical presence. Shared symbols create virtual communities, and social media fosters connections based on ideas, not proximity. Cooley's ideas also liberated communication from the physical body. He argued that meaningful interactions do not require physical presence, as symbols allow us to connect with people, including historical or fictional figures. Today, digital representations and technologies like the AI extend this idea further. While Cooley embraced the freedom communication offers, he acknowledged challenges such as the loss of sensory depth and the difficulty of verifying authenticity in virtual interactions. These trade offs remind us to balance symbolic communication with genuine embodied connections. Modern examples like online education, telemedicine, and social media align with Cooley's vision but also highlights the need to maintain authentic human bonds amidst digital connections. What are the challenges in dematerialized communication? While dematerialization has many advantages, it also presents challenges as highlighted in this article. Breakdowns in understanding. Miscommunication is more likely when one's physical cues are absent. Authentication issues. Verifying intent or truth becomes harder without face-to-face interaction. Loss of embodiment. The sensory and the emotional depth of physical presence is diminished. Isolation risk. Over-reliance on mediated forms of communication can lead to social alienation. These challenges remind us that while communication technologies are powerful, they cannot fully replace the richness of direct human interaction. Cooley's work has been celebrated and critiqued. What are the strengths of his work? His optimistic vision of communication as a unifying force, insights into the transformative role of media in societal change. What are the weaknesses? He downplayed the importance of physicality in relationships. His theories overlooked power dynamics and inequalities in media access. He failed to address the complexities of mediated communication in depth. Now, what is the modern relevance of dematerialization? Cooley's theories on communication, particularly his concept of the dematerialization of communication, remain highly relevant today as technologies like the social media, video calls, and AI have transformed how we connect. Cooley envisioned communication transcending physical space, a concept realized through tools like the telegraph, which evolved into today's digital platforms, allowing for global symbolic interactions. While these technologies enhance connections, they also challenge the traditional ideas of relationship, authenticity, and social belonging. Virtual interactions can feel more distant or shallow compared to face-to-face ones, and the rise of AI and digital personas complicates authenticity. Despite these challenges, Cooley's insights into mediated sociability and symbolic communication offers a valuable framework for understanding how digital technologies shape modern relationships and communities. As virtual and augmented reality technologies advance, Cooley's theories will continue to guide our understanding of these evolving forms of human connection. As we come to the end of this lecture, it's important to reflect on the lasting relevance of Charles Horton Cooley's ideas in the context of today's world. Cooley's work, especially his exploration of the dematerialization of communication, provides a powerful framework for understanding how communication has evolved and continues to shape our society. In essence, Cooley's vision highlights the liberating potential of communication technologies, how they free us from the physical constraints of time and space, allowing us to connect and exchange ideas in ways that were once unimaginable. One of the most profound aspects of Cooley's theory is this notion that communication is not just about transferring information, it's about exchanging symbols and imagination. This shift from physical interaction to symbolic exchanges has profound implications. In Cooley's world, communication is not confined to the space between bodies, but extends across time, geography, and even between the living and the dead. By dematerializing communication, it becomes a symbolic act, an act of imagination where meaning, emotion, and ideas flow freely between individual communities and even historical figures. We see this principle played out in the media we use today. In the digital age, our interactions are often mediated through symbols, text images, emails, video calls, social media posts, and emojis. Physical presence, as Cooley argued, is no longer essential for communication to take place. Ideas and emotions travel across vast distances, often more efficiently and profoundly than they would through physical touch alone. Today's world of communication, whether it's the fleeting nature of a tweet or the deep connection fostered in a long distance video call, reflects the psychic nature of Cooley's vision, where ideas, thoughts, and shared understandings transcend the barriers of the body. But Cooley's insights go beyond the technology itself. He highlighted the importance of symbolic relationships, that we as individuals and as a society come together not just through physical interaction but through shared meanings. The idea that society is formed through the exchange of symbols rather than physical proximity resonates with our current globalized world, where communities are often built around shared ideas and interests rather than geographical locations. In today's digital space, we see communities forming around symbols, whether it is the shared experience of watching a TV series, participating in online forums, or engaging in social movements. However, Cooley's vision also had limitations that we must consider. As we embrace new technologies, we must remain mindful of the challenges and complexities they bring. While technology allows us to dematerialize communication, it can also lead to misunderstandings, loss of authentic connection, and emotional isolation. The authenticity of communication becomes difficult to gauge without the physical cues we rely on face to face interactions. As we engage more with mediated communication, it is important to think about what is lost when physical presence is absent, what Cooley referred to as the loss of embodiment. The richness of nonverbal communications, the warmth of human touch, the emotional depth that comes from being physically present are often absent in mediated exchange. Despite these critiques, Cooley's work remains foundational in understanding the interplay between media, society, and technology. He was ahead of his time, and recognizing that communication is not just a means to exchange information, it is the means by which society is organized. His theories continue to offer valuable insights into how media shape not only the structure of societies but also the nature of human relationships. Today, with the rise of social media, artificial intelligence, and other communication technologies, Cooley's ideas continue to resonate, offering us a lens through which to view the evolving landscape of human interaction. In conclusion, Cooley's idea about the dematerialization of communication offer a rich, complex framework for understanding how technology transforms our social world by liberating us from the physical constraints of time and space. Communication technologies allow for a deeper, more symbolic exchange that are as meaningful, if not more, than physical interactions. However, as we continue to evolve and navigate the digital age, it's essential that we approach these tools thoughtfully, considering both their liberating potential and the challenges they introduce. Thank you for engaging in this exploration of Cooley's timeless insights. I encourage you to continue reflecting on how these ideas apply to our own experience in today's interconnected world, whether in personal interactions or the broader societal shifts. The way we communicate will continue to shape who we are and how we relate to one another, both as individuals and as communities. Let us carry forward Cooley's optimism while remaining thoughtful about the balance between the liberating potential of technology and the human need for authentic, meaningful connection. Communication is not just a tool, but the very essence of what makes us human, a force that binds us together in an increasingly interconnected and complex world. Thank you once again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lecture. Thank you.